So today I want to talk to you briefly about the Sony FS700U that I was able to get for the week through lensprotogo.com. Great new company I just started renting from. They actually shipped it in a Pelican case, which is a little bit different than most rental houses, which is pretty cool. Allowed us to take gear directly to the shoot without having to worry about protection or getting any sort of additional cases. It's pretty well packed in there. Came with a battery charger, everything else I need. Using a Nikon NovaFlex mount to mount my Nikon lenses. Overall, it was a pretty awesome camera to work with. It's definitely not the kind of camera you're going to go out there and shoot without a shoulder rig. It's really ergonomically not ideal because basically if you wanted to mount it here, the screen is kind of like off to the side. It does come with a handle, which I didn't use very much because we were using it mostly on a tripod, but that also kind of is an awkward position. The screen was really terrible of the unit itself. Typically you'd want to use an external monitor. There's no optical viewfinder. Basically the camera comes with this little loop, which is really just magnifying the screen. I really wish Sony would have invested in a decent viewfinder and just dropped the screen or given us something higher resolution. What makes this camera very unique is its ability to shoot at 240 frames per second in 1080p. It allows us to capture some really awesome slow-mo footage, like you'll see this shot that we did yesterday of Jen and Jeff on their engagement session. They're really big into biking, so we wanted to capture some slow-motion shots of them riding down the road. I really like the handle on the camera. It made it really, really easy to transport, or if I needed to do any handheld shots at all, gave me a good position to hold it from. I really liked having the dual cold shoes, which allowed us to mount, microphones and, even a lav mic or a light. Now with this NovaFlex adapter, it was really cool because you didn't have to have those very specific f-stops. You could actually just slowly open my aperture of my Nikon lenses or slowly close it, which allowed us to really lock on the perfect exposure. The ergonomics of this camera are really the only complaint that I had about it other than the screen. I think it created a great file for us. We messed around with some of the picture profiles and was able to get it very flat for color grading. It gives you a wide range of lenses that you can use. It's based on the NEX platform from Sony, so you can use their NEX lenses, or you can get an adapter, like I said, with the NovaFlex. And we also have the EF adapter for Canon lenses that we used for a few shots. But mostly I was shooting with the 85-1.4 and the 35-1.4 from Nikon. We did use the 24-70 for a few shots on a different project. So on this camera, it records to AVC HD, which is really not a great format to record in or to edit in. It's kind of clunky. I recorded directly to SD cards in AVC HD, and then when I pulled it into Final Cut, I went ahead and had it converted for ProRes. The other problem that I had with this camera is low light. This is really, really, really not designed for weddings or anything that would require really, really low light performance. I found it to be even noisy at some of its lowest ISO settings. Now you can fix that a little bit with post-production, color grading, things like that. But it's not going to be something that's going to hold up as well as your traditional SLR like a 5D Mark III or a D800. The way this records in 240 frames a second is kind of a cool idea. What it's doing is constantly filling the buffer, and if you're recording at 240 frames a second, it captures 8 seconds of footage. I had it set to the end trigger, so after we saw the action that we wanted to capture, hit the record button, and then it takes basically 80 seconds to record everything that it just saw for the past 8 seconds. And it's playing that back at 24 frames per second, but at a much slower rate. So that way it's actually capturing all that footage in the standard AVC HD format, which makes it a little bit easier to edit without having to worry about massive amounts of storage. Again, I want to thank lensprotogo for getting this for us for the week. It was an awesome time to use it, and I'd highly recommend checking them out.